Hello everyone, this is Bazzoka, and welcome back to another extra episode of Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. I think that's what I'm going to call these. In any case, last time I did go through the enemy info and all those beautiful cards, which were pain in the butt to get. And now this time, I'm going to not play through boss battles, and here's why. I forgot to go through all the abilities like I said I would, even though I'm pretty sure I did get to all of them in some way or another, but I didn't really properly explain some of them, I guess. Or maybe I explained some of them, but they were just really bad explanations. So yeah, let's get into it. And the first ability by itself is burning. I was correct, it is burning, it's not fire. In any case, burning will send you forth a certain amount of distance. However, the more you constantly use it, the less distance it will go. Because as you see, it's barely going anywhere. So yeah. And there you have it. Next up in this level we have Needle. Needle is almost like it is in almost every other game. Press B and you'll surround yourself with needles. You're basically protected by anything that can be killed or be destroyed. And it can stick you up against a wall. Like that. It doesn't stick you up on ceilings, unlike what I said in the playthrough. And it also has a time limit, like unlike normal Needle in all the other games, you can hold down for any length of time and it'll be fine. Rhyming. In this game, it's timed, so like you press B and it lasts for that long all the time. Simple as that. So let's move on. Next up we have Cutter. Cutter's This is an odd version of Cutter, because Kirby throws part of himself. He like throws his face and his arms, and without either of those, he can't really do anything. Well, I don't know why he can't run, but he can't run, he can't fly, can't inhale, for good reason, and he can't pull out the ability star either, so it's impossible to really do anything unless you have his face. So, let's go to the next ability. And here we have, next ability, Bomb. Bomb can be thrown, of course, and the distance and the arc will change depending on how long you hold B. And that right there is the furthest you can throw it. Indeed. Etc. and so forth. Moving on. Here we have Rock. Rock in this game is also very interesting, where it's the only rock ability in a Kirby game that will allow you to move after you've activated it. And I mean like physically choose where you want to go. Rock in other games will just roll you down a hill and it's like, okay, whatever. This is the same case in 64, but you can also move on like just flat surfaces because he can walk around. He can't fly, but aside from that, it really resembles Metal from Kirby Squeak Squad. And then after you're done being all rock-like, you can press B and explode out of it. So yes. Next, here we have Spark. Spark is yet another interesting exception to all the other Sparks. Spark in any other Kirby game, you have to be stationary, but in this game you can actually move. You can decide where you want to go. However, the field is much shorter when you start moving around, and that's the payoff of being able to move. So yes, That is Spark. And that yep. Next ability. And here we have of the final single individual abilities. We have Ice. Ice is very interesting as well in this game. It's all of these abilities are really different compared to normal 2D platformers of Kirby. Where Ice is just one direction. Ice in this game, it hits all hits on both sides of you. That's what I'm trying to say. It hits on both sides of you, and again, you can move. And I guess in this case, it's actually quite the improvement. Even though it can't aim, like you can't really aim it. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Whatever. This is Ice. It's different. Deal with it, sunglasses. Alright, now then, time to move on to the combinations, ability combinations. Let's go. The first ability combination that I'm going to show off is Burning, which, like I said in Neo Star, I do believe, I like to call it the Phoenix, simply because of how it looks when you activate it. I mean, that beginning part where like the flame just kind of like starts out in front and goes back, that reminds me so much of a phoenix. Like, look at that, it looks like wings. It totally looks like wings, and I'm getting hit a bunch. But in any case, yeah. So Phoenix, as I like to call it, Phoenix is a much, of course, since you combine two burnings together, it's a much better version of burning. And it travels you much further distance, and yeah, it can even hit behind it, as showcased there, and it travels further. I'm not sure if it has the same restrictions of like constantly using it makes it travel a shorter distance. I can't remember, but that is burning for you right there. Next up here is Burning and Rock, which I like to call Volcano because you basically look like a volcano that's spewing out molten rocks. So yes, Volcano, you can aim which way you want to fire off the rocks. Like I said, some rocks do travel further than others, as you can see here. And it is actually used to get a crystal shard, as you saw in my gameplay. So yes, that is Volcano. And here is Ice, Burning and Ice, the Melting Ice, aka the most useless ability. Because as far as I'm aware, the ice bit doesn't deal any damage, the fire does. So if you're trying to hit anything below you, it doesn't work. And it also has crap range too, so it's just like, what's the point of using it? Okay, so maybe it does do something, but it's just like, there's so much better abilities. Because it's like you're stationary, you can barely move, it's so short of an attack. There's simply just better abilities that you could possibly get. So let's move on from this horrible disaster of an ability. Next up we have Burning and Needle, which gives you the fire arrow. Like I said in the first episode, I do believe, you can turn into an arrow. The longer you hold B, the more he will arc his shot. And there you go. You can also jump, but that's kind of irrelevant considering that if you want to try and move out of the way, you're too slow, so you'll most likely get hit. I mean, look at that. That NZ is probably even faster than I am. Yes. And, like I said before, the arrow, when it hits something, the fire will linger, and it will provide you with, I guess, a shield, you could say. shield that anything touches, it will die. So yes. So let us move on. And here we have fire, burning. I have to stop calling it fire. Burning and bomb. Burning and bomb will give you fireworks. Beautiful fireworks. It gives you, I guess you could say, it gives you like an extra 3 jumps after you've lost your flying capabilities. So yes, after the 3rd explosion, you'll be smoldering, smoking Kirby, and you can't do anything until you land, or until after a significant amount of time has passed. So yes. And this does reach rather large range, so it's a pretty good attack. So yes, that is burning and bomb. And here we have burning and spark, which will give you I don't really know what to call this one. I just call it like static burn. But anyway, he rubs something on his head, which gives him the spark element to it, and it will light his head on fire. So yes, you automatically move. You cannot stop yourself in any way. Pressing B will do nothing. I mean, like you can stop before he lights himself on fire, but that's not the point of the ability. The ability is to light his head on fire, and you're basically invincible. The only thing that can stop you are, again, invincible enemies. So, yeah, that's Burning Spark. Off to get the final burning ability. And here we have the final burning ability. Burning and Cutter will give you the Fire Sword. The Fire Long Sword, or no, I don't know what else to call it. But it is really awesome. It will trail behind you, so any enemy that tries to hit you or try and get you from behind, you can easily get them. Pressing B will swing it around, and if you press up, he will hold it above his head, so anything that's above you will also be hit. And if you feel that you need to get rid of it, all you have to do is press B when it's in the up position, and he will throw it. Throw it like a man. So yes, that is Burning Cutter. So, next I shall go on to the stone combinations. So yes, I probably should have said, I'm doing this in a certain order, aside from the individual ones. I'm doing all the combinations in an order. I'm doing all the burning, now I'm going to do all the stone. And here we have the first stone ability, aside from Burning Stone. Stone ability, Stone gives you a giant stone. It's a glorified version of normal stone, and I have no other name to give it because it's not super flashy like Phoenix was. But yes, it's the same thing. You move a bit faster, and when you press B, the explosion of rocks is much bigger. That's about it. Here we have Stone and Ice. Stone and Ice will turn you into the Curling Stone. That's right. Curling Stone. It gives you free movement. Even if you're not moving already, you get free movement. But it is probably a better idea to start moving first and then use it. Anything it runs into, it will freeze. And you can end it at any point from just pressing the B button. So yes. And yeah, you're invincible, quote unquote, in this form. Again, only other invincible things can knock you out of it. So yes, that is the Stone and Ice. Here we have Stone and Needle, a favorite ability of mine. It gives you the drill. And the drill, just like a normal needle, it can stick you up against walls. And for whatever reason, it can also aim you downwards for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but it can. And when you let go of the B button, you will send off that drill and destroy whatever is in its way, or otherwise drill through it. So, that is stone and needle. Well, thank goodness this isn't the actual game. So, yeah. Next ability. Here we have Stone and Bomb, which gives you the almighty Stick of Dynamite. Dynamite is the only ability where it gives you the hard hat, so you can protect yourself from the explosion. I personally don't like using it too often, but it is a good, funny way to kill enemies, and it's quite powerful. Yes, it's quite powerful. And while Stick of Dynamite is out, you cannot throw another one, and also the hard hat only protects you against that explosion, not from anything else. So yes, that is Rock and Bomb. Here's Rock and Spark. Rock and Spark gives you the rock yo-yo. I don't know what to really call this one, but yeah, it's a rock that's electrically attached to you, and once you spit it out, it will try and hit you again to like come back to you, but in this case, I'm not letting it. And yeah, anything in between, anything that hits the electric line or the rock itself will be destroyed. And yeah, if it's ever stuck, if the electric line or the rock is ever stuck against something else and can't follow you, then it will automatically end. You can end it yourself by pressing B. So yes, that is Rock and Stone. Stone and Spark. Here we have Stone and Cutter, which gives you statue sculpting, as I have now properly named it. I was bumbling over words trying to figure out what to call this in the actual playthrough, but I decided to call it statue sculpting because it makes statues of your animal friends from, I do believe, Kirby Dream Land 2 and 3. Two Dreamland games that I haven't played. And yeah, he will sculpt himself into one of the 6 animal friends in said games, and the rock explosion from breaking out of it is the same as Stone. So yes. So yeah, you turn into the useless in this game. Kine can't do anything. Rick, he can climb up walls, otherwise he's kind of slow. Nago, he can jump 3 times, otherwise he's kind of slow too. And we have Choo Choo, who can only jump in this game. Nothing else. Not very useful either. And one last guy. Where is he? Oh no, wait. I meant 2. The 2 flying guys. And now I can't get it. Oh, there we go. Coo the owl. He's not nearly as useful as he is in games as I've seen. He's rather slow. Yeah. And there's one last guy. Where is he? Where is he? Come on. You know you want to. You know you want to appear. There he is, Pitch. Pitch is definitely the most useful the statue sculpting animal friend that you can get, because he is the fastest. He can fly, he can roll after you land. He rolls down hills. He really is the most useful rock sculpture that you could possibly get. And yeah, that's pitch. Here we have, to start off, the ice combinations. We have Ice Ice. It gives you the snowball. Progressively gets bigger with every enemy that you get. It's not a very good spot to use in here, because there's barely any space to use it. But it will travel along and absorb anything it touches. And once it hits a wall, it expews them and makes them explode into an icy death. So yes, indeed. And what have you. Here we have Ice and Needle. Gives you gives you the snowflake. It turns into a giant ice snowflake, and whatever the spiky parts touch, it will freeze. Just like that. And the range is quite nice too, even though you are stationary, but it does protect all around you. So, is very good. Very good. Next up, we have Ice and Bomb. Gives you the snowman, or the exploding snowman, whichever you want to call it. Kirby puts a bomb on his head, and for whatever reason, snow starts to appear. Snow covers him, and yeah, it makes no sense, but whatever. There is a startup time. If you get hit while the snowman is being made, Kirby will be knocked out of it, and you have to try and do it all over again. So that is a disadvantage to this ability. Otherwise, it's alright. It gives you one free hit, and then the enemy goes boom. So yes. And here we have, like I said, I think even in the same area even, we have Ice and Spark, aka the Fridge, aka the most broken ability in the entire game. Because, as you recall, this thing shoots out food that you can eat. Therefore, you can recover all the life that you possibly want as long as you have this ability. And this thing is really strong, as in... Let's... Oh, whoops. Wait a second. Let's take a hit from a bomb. And look at that. We are indestructible to bombs, apparently. It's just like any other things. Anything, you can only be hit out of it by another indestructible thing. So it's just like... It's the ultimate ability. You can't move, sure, but then it's just like, whatever, I'll just throw food at you, and if I don't have full life, I'll just eat the food that's still there. Broken ability. I mean, look, cheese. Cheese. Like, do not comprehend this. And here we have for the final ice combinations that weren't already covered in the other two sections. We have Ice and Cutter, which gives you skates. Skates are interesting. They are probably one of my aesthetically favorite abilities, where Kirby will skate, and when you jump, he will do this twirling spin that will damage anything. It's not very practical in terms of boss fights, but it's definitely a cool way to get around. And if you try and turn around, you kill enemies that way. If you stop, you kill enemies that way. It's an alright ability, but it's not very practical, again, against bosses. But that's not the point. It's cool looking. So, yes. And here we have the first in the needle sets that I'm going to go through are Needle. Needle, I like to call sharp objects. Because that's all it really is. Just a bunch of sharp objects. We have a corkscrew, cactus, a pin, I think, a fork, a bee stinger, a nail, a compass. I think that's a compass, and a sharp pencil. And just like normal cutter, it will prop you up against stuff if you're close to it. It's really just, again, a glorified needle, except it's much cooler and, and covers more area around you. So yes, that is needle, sharp objects. And here we have needle and bomb, which will give you the exploding Gordo. It will give you the exploding Gordo, and as such, being a Gordo, you can move around in the air very slowly, but you explode after a certain amount of time, and you do not have the same eyes. But other than that, you look basically just like a Gordo. After you explode in the air, or after you explode anywhere, the spikes will come out and act as projectiles. Very, very short-range projectiles, but projectiles nonetheless. If you hit anything, you will explode earlier, and whatever you touched will immediately die. So you're almost like a Gordo that just explodes on contact. So yes, that's that. And here we have Needle and Spark, which will give you the lightning rod. In which case, Kirby will turn into a spike, a needle or something, and for no apparent reason, lightning will just happen to strike him and char him black in a comical way. Excuse me. This also sends off a short shockwave around him, so it hits almost all sides besides under him. But I don't think that really matters, because it hits vertically all the way. Anything that's above you that's counted as on screen will automatically die. So yes, yeah, that is the thing. And the final needle combination area, we have needle and cutter, which will give you the bear trap, or the snare, or I don't know what else to call it. Let's just call it the bear trap. So, the bear trap, anything that touches his giant spiky arms will be dead. Anything that he closes his arms on will be dead. It should be noted, I do believe, yes, Kirby is technically indestructible. Again, only other indestructible things can knock him out of this position. So yes, that is the final needle combination. And now we are off to go to the bombs. Here we have it. We have Bomb. These lists are getting shorter. We have Bomb, which will give you the missiles, which home in on enemies that are close by. You can have a total of 3 missiles shot at once. If you just press B, it's only 1. If you hold it for a little bit, you get 2. And then hold it for as long as you can, you get 3. 3 missiles. It's a cool ability. I can't remember if it actually homes in on bosses or not. But if it doesn't, then it's not exactly the most practical boss ability, but it's still cool, because I mean, it homes in on enemies. How is that not cool? Here we have Bomb and Spark. Bomb and Spark will give you the light bulb. In which case, you turn into a light bulb that will light up dark areas, if there are such any areas. Rockstar. And after a certain amount of time, you explode. It's very odd. Very odd. And also, the light you emit does deal damage. And so does the glass, like glass should. You don't explode earlier if you run into anything. So yes. And you can be hit out of it if it's an invincible enemy, like such as a Gordo. But yes, that is Bomb and Spark. And here we have it, the final one of the bomb combinations, Bomb and Cutter. I was about to say Spark again. Whew, how screwed up would that be? Bomb and Cutter, my favorite ability combination, where you throw exploding shurikens. Anything it hits, well, you throw it and it's invisible, but as soon as it hits anything, it will make it freeze and then it will explode and kill them in an explosion-y, fiery death. So yes, and like I said, if I do remember correctly, if you can time it right, you can kind of hover in midair with it. I kind of cheated a little bit, but yeah. It's pretty cool. I like it because it gives you exploding shurikens. So yes. Now then, onto the sparks. Only 2 spark now because every time we cover a section, it's always shortened by 1. Here we have Spark and Spark, which will give you the electric field, the electro field. Again, I'm not really sure what to call it, but it is definitely cool and a bit different compared to normal Spark. It gives you this electric field, kind of like almost like an atom kind of thing. And if you get close to an enemy, it will immediately shock them. And if you start it up near an enemy, it will automatically kill them. Just like Spark, though, in this game, if you move, it does shrink. So you have to be careful, because enemies can still hit you if it's too small. So yes, that is Spark and Spark. And we are Spark and Cutter, last Spark combination on this list, because we already covered basically everything else. We have the dual lightsaber. Obviously not a Star Wars parody at all. I mean, a derp. So, the dual lightsaber, as I like to call it, press B to activate it, and press B, twirl around with it like an awesome lightsaber master you are. And if you ever need it to go away, all you have to do is press down. Simple as that. Super simple, simple, easy simple. And here we have the final ability on this list, and the only thing on the Cutter combination list, because it was all the other Cutter abilities were listed in the other ability combinations. We have Cutter, which I will call Sawblade. Once again, Kirby does throw his face, but this time it grows teeth, and it's much bigger, much more menacing. It's very interesting. However, it's the same restrictions to Kirby. He can't really do anything without his face. So, yes. But in any case, I must thank you peoples for watching this, even though it wasn't the boss battles as I had originally said it was going to be. Choking on my own air. Blech. But yes, that is all I'm going to cover for today. All the abilities, all of them, of all the abilities. That is right. That is all the abilities. Next time, I will for sure do the boss battles. So, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Have a good day.